Hi, friends.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are Excellent Little Podcasts.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Mitch, I think we're doing a podcast.
Well, and also we're doing something a little different. We're going to talk about a TV show. We're talking about The Last of Us, the HBO series.
Mitch, I'm scared.
It's okay, Zach. It's okay.
Okay.
And you want to know why?
Why?
Because I'm going to split up the episode for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So for those of you who are new, we're bringing this back. So what we're going to be doing here pretty quickly, we're going to first talk about our non-spoiler section. We're going to talk about the studio that brought it, the directors, the creators, and we're going to do a summary. We're going to talk about some other things in the cast, and Zach's going to give his thoughts. I'm going to give mine. And then we will then go to the review.
Ooh.
Zach, you will split that up
Later.
and then one of us will sound the alarm and we will go into our spoilers section. How'd I do, Zach?
You did great.
Why, thank you.
Let's go ahead and give a summary of exactly what's kind of going on here. Starting with, it's an after a global pandemic destroys a civilization, a hardened survivor takes charge of a 14-year-old girl who may be humanity's last hope.
Well, that was beautiful, Zach. So,
Thank you, IMDb.
Yeah, studio brought to you by Warner Brothers Discovery and PlayStation Productions and HBO. Director is various directors. So there were multiple directors. There were about 9 episodes. A few directors directed more than one. So we were just going to say various directors.
Congratulations to all directors, and maybe not to all directors, but who knows?
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah. Congratulations. Created by Neil Druckmann, the creator of the Last of Us video game, and Craig Mazin. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right. All right. Zach, without further ado, give your first thoughts on The Last of Us. Zach, pre-wish.
Absolutely. So,
and also mention that you haven't played the game.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to get to. Thank you, my friend. I have been aware of this game for a very long time. I mean, how can you not?
Sure.
Whenever you talk about PlayStation, the first game that ever comes up is always The Last of Us, ever since it was debuted in, I think, 2013, right. So it's always come up. I was an Xbox boy back then.
Sure.
So I only had my Xbox. But whenever I was like, I'm going to get a PlayStation, that's got to be the first game I play. But then the Spider-Man came out. and then I finally got a PS5.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, I kind of want to play Spider-Man first. So I played that first, and I just haven't gotten around to playing The Last of Us just yet. And then Mitch, you brought up, we should review The Last of Us. And I was like, you're right, we should. So I unfortunately wasn't able to actually play the game before seeing the series, but as someone who hasn't played the series, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought there were some things that I really, really liked in this. Or there were some things that I thought I was like, maybe. But overall, as an experience, I thought it was pretty good. Mitch, what were your first reactions as someone who has played the game?
So I've played both games, both 1 and 2. And I really enjoy both of them. They're just phenomenal games. Naughty Dog, the developers of the Uncharted franchise, just did it again. They brought a more condensed gameplay and storyline to those games.
Sure.
And immediately from the first shot of this TV show, you felt it. I mean, they delivered in this adaptation, because that's basically what it is. It's an adaptation.
Okay.
It was beautifully made. I loved every second of it. I was on the edge of my seat every single time. The cast performances, which we'll get to, phenomenal. And also, one thing that they did, they were faithful to the game, but they also told their own story, which is extremely hard to do. And for this day and age, with video game adaptations literally failing almost on a yearly basis, standout right here.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, and again, like I said, I haven't played the game, but I feel like the right thing for video games being adapted to TV and movies is to have a huge influence on the media, but not be a direct carbon copy.
Sure.
But also not be completely its own thing.
Sure.
And I feel like based off of what you're saying, it's right in the middle, just as it should be. But Mitch,
cast performances.
We have to talk about cast performances, and
Pedro
Daddy Lorian
as Joel,
taking care of
another kid.
Another kid.
He was so. Here's the thing. May I take this one?
Yeah, got you.
Here's the thing. I had no idea because remember I played the game.
Yeah.
And Joel is voiced by Troy Baker, who is
Yeah.
in actually one of the episodes and does well. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who would be good to play Joel. I didn't know who would fill the shoes. Mm-hmm. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But then Pascal was cast.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I see you. Mm-hmm. I see you, Daddy Lorian. And boy, oh boy, that man, I can't say much without giving too much away, but he just brought everything that Joel is into his performance. I mean, just my God, every time he was on screen, my breath was taken away because he was so good. Every line delivery, every movement that he did, every choice that he made was so powerful. And that's the thing about Joel. Joel is one of the most powerful video game characters of all time. Not in terms of like strength and whatnot, but emotionally. He is
his
so
presence.
Yes, his presence, because it's so big. It's so amazing with what he deals with. And I can't talk about it because it's spoilers. But Zach, what'd you think of him?
Yeah. It's really nice to actually see Pedro Pascal's face in a series.
Yeah.
But no, there were some times that I felt he was a little wooden at some points, but then at the same time, there were some points where I really felt like he really got it.
That's also just Joel. Joel's also very wooden.
True.
Yeah.
It is true, but also there's a difference between reading subtle and reading I'm not finding the right word for it. I'm not gonna lie. But there's a difference between, for me, wooden and hard to read. To me, it played off more as wooden than hard to read, and that's kind of the issue that I think having with it, where it just the camera sometimes would just be on his face.
Sure.
And there were moments where like he had it and the action was great, and there were moments where it was just Pedro Pascal's face.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I feel like that was more of a director choice.
And
not Pedro.
and yeah, and maybe he was just like, I don't know if I know the camera's actually focusing on me or not right now or what, but something was off about a couple of his shots, but overall, in terms of the character, really well done.
Let's talk about Bella Ramsey too as Ellie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Admittedly, again, there were some wooden points that I really was not the best about, and I think it just kind of comes down to they shot a lot of the shots that I was noticing cinematography from the low aspect. There weren't a bunch of high shots. It was a lot of low shots. I wasn't a fan of that, and I think that's where Bella really kind of sank as well. Both Joel and Bella was the camera was also focused there. I think that's where I was really not liking it. I think that's why.
So here's the thing, Zach.
They just didn't find their horizon.
In the game, that's where the shots are.
They are?
Yes.
Ooh, that's kind of disappointing.
So, but I appreciated it.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is, this setting, which we can actually kind of segue if you want.
Yeah.
But let me first talk about Bella. She was beautiful in this game. I thought she was wonderful.
I thought her acting was great. Her acting was really, really great.
But here's the thing. Yeah, she was wonderful. I loved all the choices she made as Ellie because Ellie's a badass kid.
She is.
Absolutely,
she really is.
And also, I'm blanking on her name. The lady who plays Ellie in the game was also in it. She does wonderful. But Bella Ramsey had this like toughness to Ellie that was also present in the game, but we needed it so bad in the show.
Yeah.
And I was all here for it. But it's the setting of the game and the show that I think probably why the directors chose to shoot it at different angles, because let's just talk about the setting real quick. I know it's further in our notes.
Okay, yeah.
But the setting of the game, it's a post-apocalyptic United States.
Yeah.
With not a lot of scenery.
Yeah.
Buildings are broken down.
Weird how you say not a lot of scenery, but yet the lack of scenery also kind of gives it its character. 'Cause whenever I think of The Last of Us, I do really think of greens. I think of nature taking over the cities, the wilderness. That's what I think of whenever I think of The Last of Us. And I feel like that kind of like lack of scenery adds to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and also that's why I think they had those shots kind of where they were, because, you know, if they remember, like, okay, we got to remember, like, this is a post-apocalyptic United States. It's not going to be, the shots aren't going to be 100% perfect. They wanted you to believe, like, oh, wow, this isn't right. You know, they wanted you to feel a little uneasy, I feel. So I think so, and that's where they took those camera shots from the game. So that's why I think I appreciate it more than you did.
Well, and I liked it. It's just from below the chin, it's just an unflattering angle, and it was a lot of below the chin shots, which I was just like, that's so unflattering. But it really was on both of them.
Which I get you. They're taking it from the game.
I get you.
So I think that's why I appreciate it more than you did.
I feel that.
After that disagreement, speaking of faithfulness to the game, now I will take this one.
Yeah, please take this one, because again, I really have not played
So
this game.
was very faithful to the game. I'm going to say, however, it was faithful about 80% of the time.
Okay.
And I loved that because there was another 20% of this show was unfaithful to the game. And in my opinion, it made it better.
Okay.
Because there are certain plot points and certain characters in this show that were from the game that have a few things that happened. Won't gonna go into it.
Well, I feel like we can kind of dive into that actually with our next plot point too, which is it focuses on side characters more.
Yes.
Which I feel is actually really genius.
Which is hard to do.
It is hard to do, but I feel that's really, you wouldn't be able to do that on the big screen, on the big silver screen.
Nope.
They took it of like, okay, we're doing this episodically, we're doing this for TV, so we can focus on our side characters more.
Well,
Not only did it give us more content, it gave us more depth to those one-off characters that we were looking for, and it allows us to build the world more.
You also can't do that in a 2-hour movie.
You can't.
So that's why this is a 9-episode, and we can also segue into our length. All 9 episodes are roughly about an hour.
Roughly, yeah.
And the first episode, hour and a half.
Yeah,
give or take.
It was a longer one.
Yeah, but. And that episode length allows you to delve deep into these side characters, because again, you can't delve into those side characters in a 2-hour film or 2.5 hour. This movie, if it was a movie, I would say it would have to be borderline 3 hours.
More than that.
Yeah, which is, no one wants to do that.
No, but also it's so genius because it literally, there will be episodes where you genuinely focus more on these side characters and then arrive to where Joel and Ellie actually come in to interact with them. And it's so genius to do that. And it sets up that expectation early on in the series so that when it happens, you're like, oh,
shit.
So when are they coming in?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. Oh, are they? No. We're spending more time with them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you just keep on unraveling it. And it's so genius. And what a wonderful storytelling point of taking it from that aspect.
Okay. After an argument.
Yeah.
That's
Is it okay if I take over us going into our review?
You shoot your shot, man.
All right. So for those that are just joining us, welcome. We review things differently around here.
We do.
We like to split our reviews into usually 3 different categories. We have Feed It to the Dog, which is we didn't care for it, but you should see it because you should form your own opinion, but doesn't give our really big stamp of approval. Then we have Cook a Little More, which we feel like it did well, maybe, but we need maybe an actor change, a script change, a director change, something to bring it up to Eat It Up, which is our big category, which we heavily enjoyed it. You should definitely see it. In this case, as soon as possible for streaming purposes. But yeah, Mitch, what would you give as a rating for The Last of Us Season 1?
Give me your hand, Zach. I ate this up.
Get it. No.
I ate it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. It was faithful to the game. It's everything I wanted in a video game adaptation. And this is something that we haven't had in a video game adaptation ever. We didn't get this in Uncharted, not in Sonic. I had never seen Detective Pikachu, so I wouldn't know. Don't know about the Tomb Raider films, but this is, yeah, it's great TV show. Can't wait for season 2 because it's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Zach?
Yeah, no, I ate this up too.
Yeah.
This is, or actually, no. I'm going to do something that I don't think I've ever done before. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pull out a Phantom category.
Bull.
Oh, yeah.
Bull.
Not because, now again, I will say there are light things that do happen here. And there are some things that did pull my focus away a little bit. However, I'm going to say that this was actually a clean plate.
Bull.
I actually will. And the reason why, this world is so well built. It had such a big uphill battle to climb with it being a video game adaptation. I know you're hating this.
No. I want it to be a clean plate for me.
Oh, yeah?
Can I?
You can readjust too.
Clean plate. Because
I know I made that split decision, but it really becomes, it's because the source material was really, really well done, but the world really elevated it, and the showmakers and the showrunners really knew what they had in this world, and they elevated it because they knew the surrounding area is what will elevate this film. And those side character stories are what do it.
So there you have it.
Clean plate.
For both of us.
Clean plate.
Wow.
And genuinely, I just decided that.
Really?
I really was going to make this a eat it up. I really was, but I was like, no, this is a clean plate.
I am not doing this because he did it. I genuinely wanted. I had it in the clean plate for me.
Yeah.
And I still have tweaks.
Yeah.
It's just
not all clean plates are going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, even for me, there are points of Casablanca where they maybe could have changed a few things, but they're minor.
Same with Godfather for me.
They're minor.
But same here with this. I feel like now that I think back on it, clean plate is
the only choice.
It's the only choice I can have now if I think about it. So yeah, clean plate for me. Spoiler time.
Look at that. All right.
But before you leave, before we get there, leave us a like.
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe.
Yeah.
Notification bell.
Ding.
Comment. Email us at elpodcastsmz@gmail.com. Yeah. Can I do the alarm?
What's the alarm, Mitch?
I can't do the sound.
No, that was not right.
That's it, though. Yeah.
I get you.
Okay, so
I tried, and that first attempt was not great.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Bill and Frank.
Episode 3.
Bill and
So
Frank.
for those of you who play the game, like me, Bill, you'd never see Frank other than he hangs himself.
Okay.
But Bill and Frank in episode 3, you actually see their relationship develop, and it is the most beautiful episode from any television show. Period. Amen. Because it is beautiful. Their relationship from start to finish. And their death is the reason why I appreciated this episode so much. Obviously, Bill and Frank's love story is beautiful. But the reason why I appreciate it even more is because when it comes to relationships and post-apocalyptic,
it's finding the beauty in the dirt.
Yeah,
almost.
that's literally what it was. Like, well, and also like they don't want to live without each other in this post-apocalyptic world. So they die. And it was so beautiful.
It's great. It's so good. And I really do have to give a shout out to the director, Peter Hoare, for this. Because it's also one of the best directed episodes of the film. Or of the show. Because all the cuts are right, all the cinematography is right, the world changes around them. They do such a great job of passing of time. They do such a good job with this episode. This episode makes it a clean plate.
Yeah.
By itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
Yeah, but Frank in the game originally just hangs himself, but Bill and Frank, they do an assisted double suicide.
Gotcha.
But this episode, you have to see it to believe it. The next side character, she's only in the 7th episode?
7th or 8th. I think it is 7.
And it is Riley, Ellie's friend / girlfriend. Yes, Ellie is also a member of the LGBTQ plus community. Really one of the first video game characters in recent memory. Riley was originally just part of the DLC. This show, she is a very important character in the 7th episode.
Yes,
because she gets bit along with Ellie, and also, spoiler, Ellie is. There are zombies in the show. They're really called clickers.
Zombies.
Yeah,
they're a form of zombies.
This is not a zombie show.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Ellie. So you get them, you get bit and you die and whatever. Ellie gets bit along with Riley.
Yeah,
and they decide that they can't live without each other because they love each other.
Yeah,
and they both say, if we're gonna go, we're both gonna die. We're not gonna do anything. We're just gonna die. Ellie wakes up and she's fine, but Riley turns.
Yeah.
And she has to kill her. And it really kind of makes Ellie who she is as a character, because she had to kill her lover. She did the exact opposite of what Bill and Frank did.
Yeah.
Frank just wanted Bill to kill him, to assist his suicide.
Not kill him, but assist his suicide.
And have Bill live. Whereas Ellie killed Riley and didn't kill herself. So she's living with that burden.
Yeah.
And it makes Ellie the tough and very strong character that Ellie is. So, but ending time.
Yeah. So we're not going to do a play-by-play, of course, but like the fact, Ellie, I really loved the fact that we do decide, Joel does decide to give Ellie away at first, but
because
he believes it's because it is
cure,
her decision, and it's going to be a quick, like, take your blood and go. But once it's discovered that, no, Ellie's going to die because of this.
Yeah, because basically
Joel just lets loose, and he just goes through this hospital.
Because doctors believe Ellie is the cure
yes.
of this disease or whatever.
Exactly. And there's no way to get the cure without her having to die. So Joel believes that it should be her choice. And it just goes, and there's this absolute murder bloodbath of
really beautiful scene too,
and it's so well done. And do I agree with how Joel decides to lie to Ellie at the end of how it all went down? No. But it was really kind of off-putting to me of like how he was like, it should be her choice, and then he not give her even a choice at the end.
So Zach, here's the thing. You are now in the Last of Us community.
Yeah.
People have these conversations. Like, is Joel right? Is Joel wrong? Should Joel have done what he does? Now, here's the thing. This decision that Joel makes at the end of this show and at the end of the first game has very important ramifications.
Yeah, but that's way too spoilery for this episode. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up with that, my friends. But thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you do give us a like, a subscribe, a ding for that notification bell.
A comment.
Email at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But until season 2, my friend, I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are
Excellent Little Podcasts.